The Tour de France is about much more than the rider who won the overall title, with so many more stories to tell along the way. The Battle of the Sprinters is one such tale that threads its way through the Tour's 3 weeks. This year is set to be a classic, with a supreme lineup due to roll out on July 7th, with the yellow jersey on offer for the fast men and at least 9 opportunities for a stage victory. Hero Cycling uses 8 sprinters to watch for the 2018 Tour de France. Peter Sagan will come to the Tour de France with a score to settle as he looks for a record equalling 6th green jersey. Sagan was the clear favourite for the jersey last season before he was controversially disqualified from the race. Provided he could make it to Paris, Sagan's versatility makes him hard to beat in this competition. Sagan has won 8 stages since his 2012 debut, and each of the sprint stages are a chance to add to it. But stage 9 to Roubaix will really whet his appetite after he won his first Paris-Roubaix earlier this season. Fernando Gaviria's debut is possibly the most hotly anticipated of this year's Tour de France. The young Colombian has been making waves since he beat Mark Cavendish to win 2 stages of the 2015 Tour de San Luis. He rode his first Grand Tour at last year's Giro d'Italia, taking 4 wins and the Ciclamino jersey. His promise was such that he was preferred for the Tour over Marcel Kittel, despite the latter winning 5 stages in 2017. The Tour is a different prospect to the Giro, but it'll be interesting to see how he flourishes. Among some star talent, Dylan Groenewegen was an outsider for the sprints at last year's Tour, but he came away with the biggest prize for the fast men, a win on the Champs-Élysées. Since that victory, he's taken his first Classics win at Kuurne-Brussel-Kuurne and won a stage at Paris-Nice. He chose the Tour de Slovenia as his build-up for the Tour de France, winning stage 2 after being caught behind a crash on the opening day. The team will also be backing GC riders Steven Kruijswijk and Primož Roglic. Last year's sprint competition was less of a battle and more of a romp, as Marcel Kittel stormed to 5 stage wins before his early departure. One wonders if he could have hit 6 had a crash not halted his progress. Kittel has already said that it would be impossible to set out to target 5 again. It's no surprise that the German is looking to quiet down expectations, particularly as he continues to find his feet with his new team. He may have to rely on other sprint trains if his doesn't come together in July. Arnaud Démare won't be the only French sprinter in action at the Tour de France, but he's probably their best hope at a stage win in the bunch gallops. With Thibaut Pinot choosing to skip his home Grand Tour, he's also Groupama FDJ's best shot too. A past Monument winner, Démare took his first ever Tour stage win last year, though it was overshadowed by the controversy surrounding Sagan. This season has been fairly average so far, with just 1 win to speak of at Paris-Nice, but there's still time to improve. The 2018 season has been a very challenging one for Mark Cavendish, with crashes at 3 consecutive races. The result was 2 broken ribs and almost 2 months without racing. He's been fighting for form ever since his return at the Tour de Yorkshire, but his second place to Elia Viviani at the Adriatica-Ionica race is a sign that things are moving in the right direction. It's been a tough season for Dimension Data in general, with several riders out through serious injury, such as Cavendish's key lieutenant Bernie Eisel. The Tour de France is a chance for the team to turn their season around, and Cavendish is certainly their best chance to do so. With Peter Sagan out of the way, Michael Matthews was able to sail to a comfortable win at the green jersey competition last year. That's not to say that he didn't have to work hard for it, and he pushed for the points at the intermediate sprint along with victory on 2 stages. While Matthews had relatively free rein in 2017, this year will be a little bit different for the Australian, with Tom Dumoulin targeting the overall classification. Matthews will still get his chances, but he'll also have to work for Dumoulin in the mountain stages. Last year was the first time that Andre Greipel failed to win a stage of the Tour de France, having won at least 1 in each of his past 6 appearances. The failure was a big knock to the German's confidence, who later said that he'd lost his instincts on the bike. He hit the ground running this season with 2 wins at the Tour Down Under, before a nasty crash at Milan-San Remo sidelined him. Since his return in May, he's taken 4 wins and looks on the right path ahead of the Tour.